listening to the song that rang out through many houses and in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania last night. That's right, Dave Bautista returned to the Royal Rumble and the WWE and didn't go off without a show. He beat Roman Reigns in the final couple of entrants to win the Royal Rumble. Batista will now advance to WrestleMania and face Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So, Batista won last night, faced Roman Reigns. So, Gage, I want to ask you your thoughts. How dominant do you think Batista can be going forward?
I think I know he's going to WrestleMania, so I know he could get a chance to be the World Heavyweight Champion again.
Absolutely, he could. And, you know, if he wins at WrestleMania, how would that help his career? It would keep it going, correct?
Yeah, if he loses at WrestleMania, his career might be over. It might.
Absolutely, we could see him go into a kind of retirement like we saw him go into last time he left the WWE. But he's back, and he was very dominant. But let's get into our next topic, and it concerns Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, otherwise known as The Shield. Dean Ambrose attacked Roman Reigns, trying to eliminate Reigns. Reigns did not see who it was. We'll throw that in there. But Rollins and Ambrose were arguing. They got into a battle, and then Reigns eliminated them. Do you think that the Shield are over going forward after this conflict?
Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose could be a tag team, but I think Roman Reigns could be able to leave the WWE or become its own superstar.
I disagree completely. Mm-hmm. I think that Roman Reigns will remain a superstar. No way he'll leave the WWE.
No, I'm saying
But anyway, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, I don't think they'll ever become a tag team again. You gotta remember, Dean Ambrose tried to eliminate him first, and Seth Rollins was not happy about that. So, that's basically what happened last night at the Royal Rumble. Now, the big matchup of the night before the Rumble was John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Remember that WWE Championship and World Heavyweight Championship was on the line, and it turned out to be John Cena losing not at the hands of Randy Orton though, at the hands of Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Do you think this will start a conflict between Cena and the Wyatts going forward?
Yeah, but they could go forward. They could.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a battle between the Wyatts and Cena going forward.
But you think somebody next time they have a match, maybe that Cena could team up with somebody else in the WWE.
Well, yeah, and that brings up another point. How about Daniel Bryan? Bryan lost to the Wyatts last night. We know Bryan and Cena have had their conflicts in the past, but that's a possibility, always.
But Bryan and Cena has a lot of things going on at SummerSlam.
Obviously, but those could be in the past now. I think that they have definitely moved on from what it was, and now that it's moved on, they can advance together and maybe team up and be the first combination to defeat the Wyatt family. So let's look at another one. We've already talked about Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt a little bit there. Obviously, Bray Wyatt won against Daniel Bryan. A lot of fans were disappointed about that. Daniel Bryan, obviously, one of the fan favorites. But another match that was really interesting, Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show. Lesnar came out striking like a lot of Paul Heyman guys do. The match couldn't even get started, and Lesnar had pretty much killed him all with the chair.
Yeah, but I thought it was going to be like a DQ match, and as soon as he hit him with the chair, that was going to be a DQ. I thought that was going to happen.
Well, absolutely not, because the bell had not rung yet. So, Brock Lesnar defeated Big Show, and Big Show not looking good for the rest of his career going forward. Got a lot of old guys in the WWE, but let's look at some other things from the Royal Rumble, some highlights. The kickoff match. We had the New Age Outlaws defeating the brotherly combination of Goldust and Cody Rhodes. Your thought on that match?
I thought thought that Cody Rhodes and Goldust were going to go on with the WWE Championship belts, but I was wrong.
Yeah, and I would agreed with you, but the New Age Outlaws becoming six-time, that's a new WWE record, six-time WWE Tag Team Champions. They will now have to defend. Who are some combinations you're looking to them defend against? You have the Usos, you have the Real Americans.
Maybe they could go against the Usos, but I think the Usos could win because I'm not really a fan of the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, and a lot of people know their speech at the beginning of the matchup, but not the most popular tag team right now.
Yeah, because they're a version of the DX, because people don't like copiers of the DX, because DX was popular back then.
Absolutely. And let's get into our other topic here on the Gabell and Deuce radio show. Again, if I didn't introduce us properly, this is Gage Deuce, 7-year-old. You heard me right.
About to be 8.
Turns 8 tomorrow. Getting a little bit of analyst from him. I'm Marshall Gabell, 13-year-old writer and commentator. Check me out on Twitter at Marshall Gabell. Link will be down in the bio. Make sure you subscribe. Just going over a little bit of WWE today. We'll be covering sports from all the world. We'll have a breakfast show on the weekends. This is our special edition Monday kickoff show. We'll have some SmackDown, Raw, basketball, NBA,
Make
NFL.
sure to check out Raw tonight.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw tonight, beginning at 8 o'clock. We'll have the first hour coverage with a little bit of the recap again of the Royal Rumble here live on the Gabell and Deuce radio show. So, without further ado, let's look at some more highlights from the Royal Rumble. And let's begin with the Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, your pick to win it. He got
far. I mean, did you see his jump he did?
Yes, I did. He was thrown out. Rusi, the big man, caught him and set him on the side of the kind of like the barricade around the arena. And then he jumped back in the ring. One of his many highlights in the Royal Rumble, but he was eventually eliminated.
That's one of the cool things in WWE history. The second cool thing in the WWE history was by Kofi Kingston. He did the handstand when he was almost eliminated in the Royal Rumble.
Absolutely, a couple years ago. And how about a couple other guys returning? We had Kevin Nash return. We had Kane come out of management. Do you think that this could spark back together Kane's career, or will he remain in management?
I think he could come back to wrestling, but here's the thing. I hope he does the Ring of Fire matches. I like those. They're pretty cool.
Absolutely. And again, this is your 7-year-old, about to be 8-year-old analyst, Gage Deuce. But let's get into more WWE. He's primarily a WWE, so he'll be joining me to do some WWE recaps, going as we go along, just introducing us a bit. We thank you for joining us. First of all, here on this show, got to give a shout out to Gage for being alongside me here this early in the morning. I hope you're having a nice time with your coffee, drinking it up, looking at your results from the WWE. But anyway, let's get into
some NBA.
Yeah, let's get into some NBA. How about it? So the NBA last night, a lot of games kicking off on a Sunday. We had some early games as well. One of the early games, the Miami Heat versus the San Antonio Spurs, a rematch of last year's NBA Finals. Obviously, the Heat came out on top and won their second championship last year. But yesterday in the matchup, Heat dominated the Spurs. The Spurs were without Kawhi Leonard, though, Thiago Splitter, and Danny Green. Your thoughts on the Heat? Do you think that they could go all the way again?
Yeah, I think they could because they got a good player on their team. They have LeBron James. He's actually a pretty good player.
Absolutely. So that's going to end our coverage here. Thank you for joining us.